Beneath the ordinary world lies a veil, and behind it, the voices of the lost still whisper.
We are your guides into the shadows, where true crime meets the paranormal.
From chilling crimes to haunted histories, we uncover the stories that refuse to rest.
This is Veil of Echoes.
Oslo, Norway, August 10th, 1993. In the stairwell of an apartment building, a body lies twisted, not hidden, not rushed away. He was stabbed, again and again and again, 23 times. This wasn't about just one thing. It wasn't only money, or jealousy, or impulse. It was all of them, layered together, feeding something darker. Because this wasn't a random killing, and it wasn't the act of a stranger. The man who died helped build a movement. He shaped its sound, its image, its reputation for extremity. He believed darkness had to be real to mean anything. The man who killed him believed that too. This was escalation. This was two men feeding a myth until it demanded blood. Tonight, we're stepping into the Norwegian black metal scene, where shock became identity and authenticity became obsession. This is Mayhem, and this is the murder of Euronymous.
Episode 40, When the Myth Demanded Blood, Part 1.
Welcome back to Veil of Echoes, where true crime meets the paranormal.
Each week, we step into the moments where belief hardens, where identity becomes obsession, and where history leaves scars that don't fade quietly.
We examine the people, places, and movements that crossed a line and couldn't come back from it. We're your hosts. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Bria. Before we begin, we want to offer a content warning. This episode includes discussions of graphic violence, extremist ideology, and real-world death tied to a subculture that deliberately blurred fiction and reality. Listener discretion is advised.
If you enjoy Veil of Echoes, we'd love for you to follow the show and leave a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Every follow, every rating, every listen helps new listeners find their way through the veil.
You can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook for visuals, behind-the-scenes moments, and updates on what's coming next.
To understand how Euronymous died, we have to understand what he helped create.
A scene built on provocation, isolation, and the belief that darkness had to be lived, not just performed.
Because long before the murder, the warning signs were already there. To understand how this story ends, we have to understand where it begins. Not with a murder, but with a world that was already taking shape. A world built on isolation, on anger, and on the belief that darkness had to be more than sound.
In the late 1980s, Norway was quiet by most measures. Low crime, strong social system, a culture defined by order and restraint. But for a small group of young musicians, that quiet felt suffocating.
They weren't just rebelling against mainstream music. They were rejecting Christianity, authority, and the way they saw a society that left no room for rage or confrontation.
In 1984, a teenager in Oslo named Øystein Arseth, who would later become known as Euronymous, formed a band. He called it Mayhem. From the beginning, it wasn't meant to be accessible, or comfortable, or safe. It was meant to provoke.
Before the image hardened, before the myth took hold, Mayhem was simply a band of young musicians.
The original lineup centered around Sven Erik Christensen, known as Maniac, on vocals, Jorn Stuberud, known as Necrobutcher, on bass, Kaya Il Mannheim, known as Mannheim, on drums, and Ustin Arseth, known as Euronymous, on guitar.
They weren't infamous yet. They weren't dangerous. They were young musicians trying to define a sound before it defined them.
In the early years, the band's lineup was fluid, including vocals, but it wasn't until later that a voice arrived that would truly define Mayhem.
Mayhem's earliest vocalist, known on stage as Maniac, was part of the band during its formative years. At a time when Mayhem was still finding its sound, his role reflected where the band was then. Aggressive, confrontational, but still rooted in music.
Maniac's performances were intense, but they didn't demand belief. They didn't require suffering to be authentic.
When Maniac left the band, it wasn't because of violence. It was because Mayhem was changing, and not everyone wanted to follow it where it was heading.
Mayhem's bassist, known on stage as Necrobutcher, has often been described as the most grounded of the group. Less interested in ideology, more interested in music.
He would later distance himself from how extreme the scene became, especially after lines were crossed that couldn't be uncrossed.
Mayhem's original drummer, known as Mannheim, left the band before its most infamous period, not because of violence, but because the direction was changing.
What started as music was becoming something else, and not everyone wanted to follow it there.
This matters because it shows something important. Mayhem didn't begin as a death wish. It wasn't born violent.
It became that way through escalation, reward, and belief. By the early 1990s, the tension inside Mayhem was no longer theoretical. It had weight, it had consequence, and it was about to cross a line no one could step back from.
Before Dead ever joined Mayhem, he was already searching for something darker.
In the mid-1980s, Per Yngve Ohlin, who would later become known as Dead, formed a Swedish death thrash band called Morbid. They recorded a demo tape titled December Moon, but to him, it wasn't enough.
He later expressed frustration that the band wasn't going anywhere, that the darkness he felt wasn't being taken seriously.
Around that same time, he became aware of a Norwegian band looking for a new vocalist, Mayhem.
After Mayhem's earlier vocalist left, Per reached out. Not casually, but deliberately. According to bassist Jorn, he sent the band a small parcel. Inside was a demo tape, a letter outlining his ideas for the future, and a dead mouse crucified.
It wasn't a stunt, it was a message. He wasn't asking to audition. He was asking to be understood.
The package itself was eventually lost, but the tape wasn't. And the tape had his contact information.
After inviting him to rehearse, Mayhem brought him to Norway. By early 1988, he became the band's new official vocalist. From the moment he arrived, something felt different. Dead didn't perform darkness. He lived inside it.
Dead's relationship with death didn't begin on stage. It started in childhood.
At the age of 10, Dead suffered a severe internal injury when his spleen ruptured. He later described it as an ice skating accident, but years afterward, his brother would offer a different account, saying Dead had been repeatedly bullied at school and that the injury was the result of a violent beating.
That is sad.
Yeah, I got beat the shit out of him.
No wonder the way he is.
Yeah.
Was.
Aha!
That's fucked up.
I did not say anything.
That's funny. Okay. Regardless of how it happened, the outcome was the same. Dead was rushed to the hospital, where he was briefly declared clinically dead. He survived, but according to those close to him, something changed after that.
In the years that followed, Dead became increasingly withdrawn. He spoke often about death, not as an abstract concept, but as something he felt intimately connected to him.
That experience would later inspire his stage name. Dead wasn't chosen for shock. It was chosen because it felt accurate.
On stage, Dead deliberately injured himself, most often by cutting his arms and chest during performances. Not to shock the crowd, but because it felt honest to him.
But the performance didn't begin on stage.
Before concerts, Dead would bury his stage clothes in the ground and dig them up days later, wearing them once they had begun to rot. He wanted to look and smell like something unearthed.
Bandmates later said Dead talked openly about wanting to appear corpse-like on stage, not as provocation, but because it matched how he experienced himself.
He also fixated on death off stage. On tour, Dead was known to carry a dead bird he had found, keeping it with him and smelling it before going on stage. Others later recalled him collecting dead animals and keeping them nearby.
Yeah, I read he did that so he could have the smell of death in his nostrils while he sang.
This dude, yeah, he's...
You talk about black metal scene, I guess you can't really get any more
He was
than
definitely
that.
a morbid guy. No, he was... That's what I'm
These
saying.
poor animals, man.
Yeah.
They're saying that he sent them the thing not as an audition, as like a seeing if they would accept him. It's like, no, this is who I am. You're either gonna take me or not. Like,
Oh yeah, he was in it for sure.
Yay.
just sucks he was as morbid as he really was. Cause fuck,
I know.
They probably could have been the biggest black. They probably still are the biggest black metal band in the world.
Yeah, they helped make it.
I like that movie though.
Yeah, Lords of Chaos is a good movie.
Well, I guess
It's
I
a
need to
good-
watch it.
It has
Rory McCulkin.
Rory McCulkin in it. He plays Euronymous.
Oh,
Yeah, he plays
really?
Euronymous.
It's really good.
The guitarist.
Now I want to watch it.
I love it too. Because they go telling that one guy who ends up murdering everybody, "You're a poser. You're a poser."
All right,
Well,
we're
let's watch
watching
it one weekend.
He
Yes, we
showed him.
need to. It's really good. I like it.
I like those ones, the true crime
And
like band movies.
I don't even know where I heard this because that's the first time I've watched it.
I don't
We
remember
watched
either.
it.
I think we saw
It was a
ad for
bio.
it.
We were into the biopics because we were watching Straight Outta Compton
I
and
love
stuff,
all
and
those.
then we saw
All
that.
Eyes
We came.
on Me, Straight Outta Compton.
We came across that one. I'm like, and then I
Walk
saw
the
Rory
Line.
McCulkin was in, it, and we watched it, and I'm
I
like,
still haven't finished the Elvis movie though.
Yeah.
One Love, the Bob Marley movie. I love that movie.
Which Elvis movie?
The newest one with Austin
with-
Butler.
yeah.
They have a TV one too that didn't come out too long ago. That's like 5 parts.
They
I
have
don't
one
care
now
for
about
Elvis too much.
They have
Not
one
really
for his
anybody
wife
does,
too now.
but it's just one of
Priscilla?
those things. I was into the movie, so I wanted to see how his went.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Because, like, I love The Dirt, and I like my favorite part about The Dirt is when they're, like, filling in, like, this didn't actually happen. We just kind of put it in for the theatrics. And I'm like,
honestly love how they did The Dirt.
me
Yeah,
too,
it was
'cause
good.
I like how they're, like, telling you that they're putting this in for a filler. This didn't really
Well,
happen. Like,
And
It works.
MGK as Tommy Lee was like,
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love when he
that
drops
was
the sticks.
fantastic.
He's sitting there, he's like, hey, look, you're out of the band. He's like, Tommy? Oh, shit.
He drops his sticks.
He's like, I don't know.
Because
Because Mick is, like, 10, 12 years older than those guys.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was funny. He's like, you guys are stupid.
He's-
I'm just
oh.
in this for the.
He's suing them nowadays, but that's back in the good old days.
Yeah.
Because I wanted them to do like a Guns N' Roses one just like that, because that'd be sick. That's a
need to-
wild
They need to
fucking
do.
band.
They need to do a Metallica one
Alice in
showing.
Chains would have been dark.
Yeah, it would have.
Alice in Chains would have to be done like Walk the Line or All Eyes on
Yeah,
Me.
Nirvana.
Yes,
That
that
one
would be
would've
the
been
same
dark.
way. Yeah.
You know what William Montgomery says? What was Kurt Cobain's last words? Courtney, no! I can't. Courtney, no!
Oh my god, that's fucked up. William Montgomery's fucked up.
I'm sorry, that's my lead. That's another mystery I want them to solve.
These weren't stunts. They were signs of a person whose relationship with death was no longer symbolic.
To some, this was disturbing. To others, it became proof that Dead wasn't pretending.
As Dead's mental state deteriorated, his fixation on death became more explicit.
Before his death, Dead left behind a note. It wasn't a farewell in the traditional sense. It read more like a declaration that he didn't believe himself to be human, that life felt unreal, and that death felt like a return to where he belonged.
He wrote that no one would understand his reasons, that this wasn't something he had just decided, but something he had felt for years.
The note wasn't poetic. It was detached, and it reflected how far Dead had retreated from the people around him.
By 1991, Dead was living with Euronymous and Hellhammer in a house near Kirkstead, used as a rehearsal space and largely isolated from the outside world.
According to those who lived with him, Dead spent much of his time alone, writing, drawing, and withdrawing further inward.
And Hellhammer, I think he was the newer drummer at the time.
Hellhammer.
Yeah, I know.
Hellhammer.
Euronymous, that one.
That one's a cool one, I think.
Very
Euronymous.
unique.
Yeah.
Tensions inside the house grew. Dead and Euronymous clashed frequently. What may have begun as provocation slowly became something darker.
Several people later recalled being disturbed by how casual Dead harmed himself in front of others. Some tried to stop him, some were frightened by it.
Others, including Euronymous, appeared fascinated by Dead's ideology, believing his despair fit the image Mayhem was building.
Yeah, because I read that Euronymous, he would... I guess Hellhammer recalled remembering Euronymous would begin shooting into the air with a shotgun to further antagonize Dead.
Good God!
Yeah. Says Varg claims that Dead once stabbed Euronymous with a knife during an altercation, and he also claims to have sent Mayhem ammunition including shotgun shells as a Christmas gift, although he claimed those were not the shells Dead used to kill himself, that he instead saved a special shell particularly to be used for his suicide.
And Varg was the newest bassist, the one that ended up killing Euronymous.
Yeah.
That's fucking metal.
Fucking metal as fuck.
He's the one they used to pick on and bully too, and told him that he was just a poser.
Yeah.
So he changed his whole image and fucking... Because he was into like scorpions and stuff. I was like, I like fucking scorpions. So I don't...
Whether it was provocation, immaturity, or a failure to grasp the severity of the situation, no one intervened.
On April 8th, 1991, Dead died by suicide. First by slitting his wrist and throat, followed by a self-inflicted gunshot wound to his head. He was alone.
Yeah, and some of his note that he left says, "Excuse the blood, but I have slit my wrists and neck. It was the intention that I would die in the woods so that it would take a few days before I was possibly found. I belong in the woods and have always done so. No one will understand the reason for this anyway. To give some semblance of an explanation, I'm not a human. This is just a dream, and I soon will wake. It was too cold and the blood kept clotting, plus the new knife is too dull. If I don't succeed dying to the knife, I will blow all the shit out of my skull."
Well, he managed to do all of it.
Yeah.
He really went over the top with his suicide, man.
I'm contemplating it for a while, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't even know you could do overkill on a suicide, but he pushed the
Sad that he
boundaries.
got to that point. But
This is a person who believed he was on a whole different level than everyone else. He felt he wasn't a human that belonged
there's
back
no
to wherever
saving
he
him.
came from. No, because it didn't matter if it was then or now. He was going to do it. Like he said, he planned on it for years, and apparently after that brush that he had where he was dead for a few minutes, something changed him big time. And
He was only 10 though when that happened.
but ever since then, that's all he saw.
Yeah.
Like he's admitted that plenty of times before taking his own life, like the weird shit that he was doing.
He was only 22. when
Yeah,
he
like
died.
smelling dead birds.
Yeah. He just had
Sounds to me like you might have got CTE or something.
something.
But it said it was internal, so I mean, it didn't say what part of the body or head or anything, but it...
Spleen.
Oh, yeah, so what the fuck? He just got real fucked up.
I wonder if he also got a head injury during all of it, too, though.
That's what I'm
Possibly.
wondering, because, like,
It doesn't say much more.
I said he started seeming like a different person, not acting quite like he was before the accident. Dead had struggled with severe depression for years. Those close to him later said the signs were there: withdrawal, fixation on death, and a belief that he was already separate from the living.
This wasn't a performance. It was a human being in pain who didn't receive the help he needed. What happened next is where this story changes.
When Euronymous discovered Dead's body, he made choices that would follow him forever.
Instead of treating the moment as private or sacred, details were shared, photographs were taken, and stories circulated.
One of those images would later appear on a bootleg album cover. Not an official release, but one that spread anyway, without consent and without context. Yeah, it was just a picture of his
Crime scene.
head.
Like after he shot himself and the blood everywhere.
Yep. It's fucked up.
For many people in the scene, this crossed an unspoken boundary. Not artistic, not proactive, exploitative.
Others saw it differently. To them, it was proof. Proof that black metal wasn't pretending. Proof that the darkness was real.
And this is where Euronymous failed. Not because he wanted harm, but because he didn't stop the myth when it demanded too much. It's important to say this clearly. Euronymous did not cause Dead's death, but he did turn it into currency.
What may have begun as bravado or poor judgment became a lesson the scene absorbed.
That extremity was rewarded. That boundaries were negotiable. That death could be folded into an image instead of interrupting it.
After Dead's death, Mayhem didn't retreat. The scene didn't slow down. It escalated.
Church burnings, threats, radical posturing.
And a growing obsession with who was the most authentic.
Darkness was no longer symbolic. It was competitive. And into that environment stepped someone who believed Euronymous wasn't going far enough. Someone who didn't see extremity as image, but as obligation.
When someone's pain is turned into proof, where do you think responsibility lies? With the person who shares it, the people who reward it, or the culture that asked for it in the first place?
If we're talking about Dead, I mean, it started from childhood.
Yeah.
And I mean, that pain obviously turned into...
He has had that pain for his whole life.
And it's so sad to be that sad.
I mean, and it doesn't really seem like people were asking for it. Nobody was asking for it until he did it. So it's not like somebody was like, oh yeah, you should kill yourself, that'd be metal, and put it on your album. He just kind of did it, then he took the
Euronymous.
pictures and made it into a...
Which was, I mean, that was kind of because obviously...
Because he knew that was going to build the label. He was one of those that was wanting to push in a new direction. That's why one of the drummers and one of the other bassists left it, because they were going in a different direction. They didn't want to follow.
Yeah, they didn't agree with how they treated Dead's corpse, I guess, taking pictures of him when he's dead.
Well, that too, but I'm talking about before Varg even came part of the band and before Dead shot himself. Before Dead was even the vocalist, they lost one of these guys because of the direction they were
here
going.
And there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because they lost the original vocalist,
But I know that's why two of them, I think, left because they didn't agree with how they treated Dead's death.
Maniac left, and it looked like Mayhem left.
I think one of them came back, though.
Hammerfall took over for drums, and then Varg took over bass. Euronymous has always been the guitarist, and then Maniac was the vocalist.
I think it was Mayhem or whatever. He ends up going. I think it was him that came back in '95
as a drummer or something. Because I thought they only had one guitarist. No, I think the vocalist was the guitarist too. So, because black metal, just about everybody's doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he rejoined later on.
And what was he, a drummer?
Yeah, he was the original drummer. He rejoined for special exclusive live performances and guest appearances.
Oh, so Hellhammer was still there?
Hellhammer!
We need some cool black metal names.
That's straight up, like, Hellhammer reminds me of something like a call sign off of Call of Duty or some shit.
Yeah, he's still in it.
Or like something from Doom.
So I guess it's Varg, that guy, Hellhammer.
It doesn't look like... How old is he? He's 56. It doesn't look like he really ages.
No. Burning down churches and worshiping the devil will do that for you.
Yeah, keep you nice and young.
Yeah, he doesn't look too old.
What's the key to looking so young, sir?
Burn it all down. It's like all of it? See.
But yeah, anyways.
Little history trip.
Dead's death should have been a warning.
Instead, it became permission. After Dead's death, the scene didn't retreat. It reorganized. And at the center of it was a basement. In Oslo, Euronymous opened a small record shop called Helvete. The name meant hell, and it wasn't subtle.
Helvete sold underground metal records, but more importantly, it became a gathering place. A space for musicians, artists, and ideologists to meet face to face.
Downstairs, in the basement, the atmosphere changed. This wasn't a store. It was an inner circle.
After Dead's death, Euronymous leaned fully into his role, not just as a musician, but as a curator of belief.
Who belonged, who didn't, what counted as authentic.
Euronymous didn't invent the darkness, but he organized it. He rewarded extremity, he amplified rhetoric, and he blurred the line between image and obligation. Helvete didn't have posted rules, but everyone who spent time there understood them.
You didn't talk to outsiders. You didn't cooperate with media. And you didn't mock the ideology, even if you fully didn't believe it.
Disrespect wasn't punished publicly. It was remembered.
Belonging wasn't about friendship. It was about alignment.
At Helvete, belief wasn't something you announced. It was something you demonstrated.
What you listened to, what you rejected, what you laughed at or didn't.
Even silence was interpreted.
Around this time, a young musician named Varg Vikernes began frequenting Helvete.
Varg was intense, ideological, deeply opposed to Christianity. More than that, he believed destruction was necessary.
To Euronymous, Varg looked like proof that the scene was evolving. To others, he felt unpredictable.
Varg's solo project, Burzum, quickly gained attention. Sparse, cold, uncompromising.
Euronymous supported Burzum early on, helping release records, offering legitimacy, and bringing Varg closer to the center.
But proximity brought tension.
What set Varg apart wasn't volume, it was consistency.
Where others postured, Varg believed. Where others performed, he committed.
And that made him difficult to control.
As Burzum's reputation grew, so did the friction. Varg didn't see Euronymous as a leader. He saw him as a hypocrite.
Someone who had talked about extremity, but hadn't proven it.
What had once been posturing was now being challenged. Helvete was no longer just a meeting place. It was a testing ground.
Belief was scrutinized. Motives questioned, and loyalty measured.
And in that environment, disagreement didn't fade. It hardened.
Outside Helvete, the scene grew louder. Church burnings multiplied. Threats circulated. Reputations were built on fear.
And inside Helvete, the myth kept growing.
By 1993, the relationship between Euronymous and Varg was no longer ideological. It was personal.
Distrust, resentment, and competing visions of what the scene should be.
What began as a shared... I'm gonna say shred. What began as a shared rejection of the world had turned into a struggle for control. What makes this moment so dangerous is that neither of them believed they were losing control.
Euronymous thought he was still directing the scene, still deciding who mattered.
Varg thought he was seen through a performance, exposing someone who didn't mean what he preached.
They weren't speaking the same language anymore, but they were standing in the same room.
When everyone believes they're the one in control, how do you know who's actually dangerous before it's too late?
You don't.
No, that's
You just don't.
and that's the scary part,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, the first act is the most dangerous because, like they said, and like the movie shows, like, I guess it's all just hearsay, but I mean, I know the murders are real, but in the movie it shows that Euronymous that whole time was preaching how dark the scene needed to be, how people needed to act, telling people who could be in and who couldn't be in because of what they did and what they didn't do. And that whole time, like, he's never, like, he didn't burn down no churches, like, he didn't self-harm, like, he wasn't fucking an animal abuser, he didn't fucking sniff dead bodies and shit like that. So to Varg, Euronymous himself was a poser, as they called it, posturing, as in,
Yeah.
he was preaching, but he wasn't practicing what he preached. He was telling folks how they should live, but he wasn't living that way.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
don't think Euronymous didn't burn any of the churches, right?
Yeah,
it was
like-
Varg, I think, was convicted for burning several churches.
Yeah, Euronymous.
But Euronymous was present during one of them, I think.
Euronymous is what I like to call a circus black metal musician. Like, he wore the clothes, he acted the part, but he didn't play, like, he didn't do the burnings, like, he didn't do, like, no fucking, like I said, wasn't stiffing fucking dead animals and roadkill and stuff like that. Like, he dressed in black and played heavy black metal music, but he wasn't living a lifestyle.
Yep.
Which was kind of ironic because Varg was the one who came from, like, a richer family. Like, his family kind of had more money than the other bandmates' family, and he was the guy that was, like, listening to not such black metal music, and that's another thing. Well, that's what the movie showed.
Yeah.
And they were challenging each other based on the music they were listening to, because they ran into each other at, I don't know if it was that record store, but it was a record store, and Euronymous saw Varg buying something. He's like, that's not black metal, you poser, or that's not metal or something. And from that scene on, everything kind of escalated and got...
Yeah.
Yeah, so it says... So Burzum released music on Euronymous' label?
Still the coolest
Varg
name in
briefly
black
played
metal.
bass for Mayhem and released his Burzum material through Euronymous' label Death Like Silence Productions and record shop Helvete. The relationship deteriorated due to power struggles for control over the scene, disagreements over the direction of the music, and, according to Varg, personal safety threats. Which just sucks because Euronymous started this, and then Varg comes in like...
Well, yeah, Euronymous started the band, but as for like the scene and building it, Death is kind of the one that everyone was following because of the way he lived and the things he was doing. Like, he seemed to be about it. And then like Euronymous started backing Death's beliefs, and that's what he started preaching. And so from there on out, Euronymous became like the face.
Yeah.
Especially since Death kind of killed himself.
Right.
But then Varg became like challenged and pushed through, and then what happened. And
he just saw it as, you're not doing what you said you're going to be doing, and guess what? I am.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
right.
Back before they were using poser as a word, you know. Like I said, they called it posting, like,
yeah,
because they were just posting up, being part of the scene, but they weren't really acting outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, why can't you just listen to music and not have to burn down buildings? What the fuck?
Exactly.
It was the death metal scene.
I should be able
then.
to listen to a song that I like without having to get jumped in by a gang of homies.
Yeah. Helvete was supposed to be a sanctuary.
Instead, it became a fault line. By the time Helvete became a fault line, nothing here was accidental anymore. Not the silence, not the miscalculations, and not the people standing on opposite sides of belief.
In part 2, we'll follow this story to the night everything collapses.
Where myth meets consequence, and where control finally slips.
Some houses feel empty when you walk inside. This one doesn't.
It doesn't matter if you're alone or standing in a full room. There's always someone else there.
In a small town in Kansas, there's a house with no documented massacre, no official crime scene, no reason on paper to be feared. And yet, people don't last long inside it.
They report scratches appearing on their skin, heavy footsteps in empty rooms, children crying where no child exists. Some say the house targets men. Others say it doesn't target at all.
They just say the house decides.
This isn't a place people visit for fun. It's a place they leave early.
This Friday, we step inside the Sally House, one of the most disturbing haunted homes in America. A place where whatever followed people inside never followed them back out.
And before we go, we want to acknowledge that this episode discusses themes of suicide and self-harm. If you or someone you love is struggling, you are not alone, and help is available.
In the United States, you can call or text 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, to connect with trained counselors 24 hours a day.
If you're outside the U.S., we'll include international crisis resources in the show notes. Reaching out isn't weakness. It's a step towards staying.
Thank you for spending this time with us, for listening closely, and for trusting us with these stories. If you're enjoying Veil of Echoes, please consider following the show, leaving a review, or sharing an episode with someone who loves the strange and unexplained.
It truly helps more than you know.
Until next time, keep your ears open.
And the veil closed.